Joe Arrow said, "I'm not doing this. I won't relearn driving. I learned on a Rambler with 3 on the tree, manual brakes, and no power steering." Well, Joe, whatever that means, I made this video just for you to show you how easy these cars can actually be. And look, I get it, they're different, so naturally they get that intimidating tag that comes along with it. So in this video, I'm gonna go over the differences between Teslas and normal other cars. So if you even feel a little bit like our guy Joe here, my goal is by the end of this, you'll be like, hey, it's not so bad. Now the first difference you'll probably notice are with these door handles. Honestly, it's like the second hardest thing you'll have to relearn, but stick with me, they're not that bad, I promise. This bigger side right here, when you push it in, this part kind of comes out and you can open the door like that. It's meant to do with one hand, so you would put your thumb here, and as the other side comes out, grab your fingers around it and just pull the door open. And like I said, I know that's a pretty big difference from a typical door handle you would see, but this is not that bad, right? And getting out is even simpler. If we look to our left here, we have this button with this icon. Just press that button, the door pops open, and you can just push it. Now let's go ahead and jump to locking and unlocking. For this, you're gonna have to learn how to walk, and then once you got that down, you can lock and unlock your Tesla. With Tesla, your phone is your key. It's all you need to lock, unlock, and start your car. As long as your phone is on you, if you walk up to your car, it unlocks and you can get in. And then Teslas have a setting called walk away lock. It works 100% of the time. And it's just like how it sounds. With your phone on you, if you walk away from your Tesla, it'll automatically lock. You can tell it's locked, it'll fold the mirrors and then make a lock chime sound. And then when it comes to actually starting your car, I know turning a key isn't hard to do. Having push to start is even easier. Honestly, the only thing easier than those things is to just do nothing. And on that note, guess how you start your Tesla? You do nothing. As long as your phone is on you and you're in your car is on and ready to go. You can put it in drive and start driving. And when it comes to putting it in drive or shifting gears, I know people learn how to drive a manual. Having a gear shift is even easier than that. With Teslas, it's as simple as a swipe on the screen. You would swipe up to go in drive, like to go forward, swipe back to go in reverse, like to go backwards, or just tap in the middle to put the car in park. And if tapping the screen to park is a little bit too hard for you, you don't have to do that. You can just unbuckle your seatbelt when you're stopped and the car goes in park. Now the next biggest difference is that your entire menu and everything to control this car is actually on this giant screen here, which can be overwhelming, but it may make you feel a bit better if I told you that most of these settings here are just for customization and really not needed for daily driving. And one of my favorite features for those of you who aren't tech savvy, if you can't find what you're looking for, there's a search bar at the top here. You can just tap it and type whatever you want in, and it'll come up right there. But of course, there are some things on this screen here that you will use for daily driving, and I would say they're just as easy as any other car, maybe just a little bit different. To navigate somewhere, you have the navigate search icon here. You can just tap that and type in any address, hit enter, and it'll navigate you there. Or you got this giant map, just like an iPhone. You can pinch to zoom out, pinch to zoom in, go up and down. But if you find somewhere on the map you want to go, you can tap it, hit the navigate button, and navigate there that way. Or if for some reason you don't know the address of where you want to go and you can't find it on the map, what you can do is go anywhere on here and just hold it for a few seconds. It'll give you the GPS coordinates or the address nearby. Hit navigate there and it'll take you there. Now, what if you want to navigate somewhere that's so far away that you'll need to stop to charge to get there? Well, that's where you'll have to know where all the superchargers are actually located at. I'm just kidding, you don't gotta know anything. Watch this. I'll type in Chicago, hit enter, and navigate from all the way here in Las Vegas to Chicago, Illinois, and you will see the navigation pop up after a few seconds. It'll tell me every charger I have to go to, how long I have to be there for, what time I'll get there, and how long it'll take to get the next one. Also on the screen, you have your music controls in the bottom left. You can pause, play, next song, previous song, shuffle, all those quick controls there. But it's hard to be precise sometimes with your finger on the screen while you're driving. And luckily, just like most other cars, you can control your music from your steering wheel. With the left scroll wheel, you can push it in for pause or play, push it to the right to go to the next song, and push to the left to go to the previous song. And the last important thing on this screen here, we have our climate controls. If you tap the climate here, it'll bring up this climate menu. Now I have it set to auto, but if I tap that, I can go to manual mode, and just like any other car, I can adjust the temperature by going up or down and turn the AC or the heat on this way. But I love to keep it on auto, and that's because whatever I change this number to, it'll blow out hot or cold air, whatever it needs to get the cabin to this temperature. So I'll just keep it on 70, 72, like forever. And if it's winter, it'll blow out hot air to get to 72. And if it's summer, it'll blow out cold air to get to 70 here. So I love keeping this on automatic because that makes the climate here pretty much just a set it and forget it kind of thing. Now when it comes to actually driving, it drives just like any other car with one big difference. And you know how I said it, the door handles are the second biggest difference in the Tesla? This one is actually, I would say, the biggest difference between a Tesla and any other gas car. Teslas have this thing called regenerative braking, and what it is when you let off the accelerator, the car slows down much more than what you're probably used to if you're coming from a gas car. It feels like the Tesla is applying a braking force, but it's not. What it's actually doing is using that motion to send energy back into the battery to make the car a bit more efficient. Now, admittedly, this does take some getting used to, but once you're used to it, one pedal driving is so much easier than having to go back and forth between the accelerator and the brake. In a Tesla, you'll find that you'll never really have to touch the brake unless you need to stop pretty aggressively. And also, because of that, you will save quite a bit of money by not having to really ever replace your brake pads. Now, there is a bit of a caveat here, and if it's too much for you to learn this part, I'm not going to judge, but no worries, you don't have to do this. You see this big giant button on the screen here that says Start Self-Driving? If I put my seatbelt on and hit that button, I don't have to learn anything. Tesla's full self-driving is currently a $99 per month subscription. You still have to sit in the driver's seat and pay attention, but at this point, your car will take you from point A to point B and park itself completely autonomously. And when it comes to charging these cars, at least for home charging, I always like to say, imagine if you had a gas pump in your garage for like a fraction of the price. Because that's pretty much what it's like. And with Tesla's mobile connector, you don't gotta get all worried about outlets, amps, volts, or upgrades, because technically with this thing, you can plug into any standard outlet, like the same outlet you charge your phone on, and you can charge your Tesla on that outlet. It's a slower charge, but if you can charge overnight, you'll get more than enough range for most people's daily driving. But if you are someone who does drive a lot and needs to upgrade, you can always upgrade your outlet and get any adapter that you need to off of Tesla's website. But my advice is to get the Tesla mobile connector, just try a standard outlet, and if it's not enough range or charge for you, you can always upgrade at any time. And when it comes to supercharging, I would say it's even easier than a gas pump and a bit cheaper too. The first 4 steps are the same. You pull up to the pump or the charger, take the handle, open the charge port or the gas port, and then plug it in. Now in a gas car from here, you gotta swipe your credit card, maybe go inside to pay, pick what kind of gas you want, pull the handle or lock it in. I know all of that is not hard, but with Tesla, it stops at plugging it in. You plug it in, no credit card swipes, no app logins, you plug in and you're charging. Your payment method for charging is on the Tesla app, so you add it once and then charge this easy for forever. Now here's a bit of a hot take from me. With Tesla's full self-driving, the ease of the use of superchargers, and Tesla's navigation adding every charging stop like I showed you earlier, I think road trips in a Tesla are easier than road trips in any other car. On my first road trip, I planned out where to stop, where to stay, where to spend the night, all of that, because I just wasn't sure about the navigation, what it would be like, or if I can trust it. So I had this big giant plan, all planned out, and on day 2 of that multi-day road trip, I pretty much abandoned that plan because the navigation just made it so much easier and pretty thoughtless. Now I want to touch on the Tesla app, and if you're somebody who doesn't do apps, That's okay, just hang with me for a second. Here's what the Tesla app looks like. It's like a mini version of the Cars menu. It's pretty simple and it has a lot of convenience built into it. But the best part about it is that if you don't want to, you don't really ever have to use this. The main screen has a layer of quick controls. You can lock and unlock your car. You can see the location of it if you wanted to at any time. You can also control your climate from anywhere right here from the Tesla app. But hopefully you can see how convenient the app is if you want to use it. But again, you never really have to. Even for your phone key, you need to have the Tesla app downloaded, but you never have to open it to be able to use your phone as your key. All right, now here is my favorite part of the whole thing, the best for last right here. If you open the front, you will see you have this thing right here. You can open it up, and that's where you would put in your windshield washer fluid. And I say that's my favorite because honestly, that's the only maintenance you'll ever have to do. I live here in Vegas, so I did actually have to replace my air filters like once a year. But between that and the windshield washer fluid, that's it, guys. Obviously, there's no need for like oil changes. And then we talked about the regenerative braking. So there's really no need for like brake pads. Tesla maintenance is pretty minimal. And the data shows that these are some of the cheapest cars to own over a 5 to 10 year period. At the end of the day, owning a Tesla feels like owning one of the first generation iPhones. Like other people have flip phones or phones with keyboards or Blackberries, but the iPhone, that's just it. And no offense to my Android people, it's just an analogy, but you get what I'm trying to say. So while there's a few things you may have to learn, I would argue the simplicity and convenience of Teslas make it so worth it. And I have a ton of videos on my channel just like this about everything Tesla, so if you want to learn more or see more, make sure to subscribe and check it out. But as always, thanks for watching and I will catch you in the next one.